الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. My dear respected brothers, it is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah has allowed us once again to come to His house. Without His permission, without His mercy, it would not have been possible for any one of us to set our foot in a place that is dedicated to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rulers and kings, they only let those people whom they approve in their courts. Those that they do not like, they are not even allowed near their courts. So being in this place is something that we should give thanks to itself. This is something by itself that we should give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ayat that I recited, the surah of the Quran that I recited, one of the shortest but very powerful surah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by time itself. And the meaning herein is that this is something that none of you can escape. This is something that you are all trapped in, which is time. That if somebody wants to get ahead, they cannot. If somebody wants to go behind, they cannot. If somebody wants to escape, they cannot. Somebody wants to die before their time comes, they cannot. Our ulama and mashayikh say that death itself is the biggest protector of life. It is not going to let you die until that time comes. And if somebody wants to be born earlier, that also is not possible. So a lot of times we see that our doctors try their best, but at the very end we find out that everything is totally in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Seemingly simple things become complicated and take more time, and some very complicated cases take much less time than expected, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed a time for every human being when they will come into this world, and that exact moment they come, it cannot be before, it cannot be after. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by this time itself. Such a big oath, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I swear by time itself that all of you are losers. All of you are losers. Human being, by being a human being, is a loser. You are losing out constantly. Except those people who make this time valuable, who make this time do something for them for their future. And a lot of times when we mention that we should make our time valuable, people apply very petty meanings to it by saying that one should not waste time by engaging in things that are not beneficial for the world. That is a meaning of not wasting time, and that is something that we should of course not do, that we do things that are totally wasteful. But what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really wants us to think about is the hereafter. Our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that this world and the time that you have been given, you are like a farmer here, and your time in this world is like your farm. You can keep on sowing what you wish. You can sow goodness for yourself that you will reap in the hereafter, and you can waste it, or you can put seeds of evil for yourself, and you will harvest it on the day of judgment. This is a done deal. You have been trapped in this system. You cannot escape this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the exceptions to this rule, this general rule that all human beings are losers, is those who make their time valuable by, number one, first and foremost, bringing faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because on the day of judgment, there is simply no hope for anyone who has not said La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah in this time and age. In this time that Allah has allotted us, if somebody dies without believing in La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, they might be the most pious, the most pure person. Without La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, they simply have no hope. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and preserve our iman. And those who fulfill this first condition of bringing faith, and then that is not enough, but they work on it and work on flourishing their iman with good deeds. So good deeds are a protector of our iman. Whoever increases this layer of protection, their iman will flourish and be more protected. So therefore, the good deeds that we do, some of them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made mandatory out of His mercy. Because these human beings, they do not know what to do. And they have been made a lazy kind. So what will happen is that if they are given freedom, then number one, they do not know what to do exactly, and number two, they will not give importance to it, and thus cause harm to their own selves and become losers. Therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His mercy and out of this wish to save us from our own laziness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made certain acts mandatory. For example, the 5 daily prayers, which is the first and foremost physical manifestation of our iman. If somebody has iman in their heart but they do not pray, they are a Muslim, but they will not be a Muslim for very long, because they have themselves shattered the outer capsule, the protection of iman, which is the first and foremost things among good deeds, which are the protection of iman. Similarly, fasting, the Prophet ﷺ has said, it's a shield, unless and until you shatter it yourself. So these good deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us layer upon layer of protection upon what lies in the heart, which is our faith and belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then to preserve these good deeds, a person has to encourage themselves and others towards belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and staying steadfast in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So only those people who do all these, who have all these 4 things, they are using their life well. They are the ones who can be called that these are the people who are not wasting their time. Otherwise, everybody is a loser, is not fulfilling the right of the great bounty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us when He has allowed us this life and give us time in this life. The Prophet ﷺ has said that we keep running after, more or less meaning, mundane things, useless things that are of no benefit in the hereafter, wealth and the things of this world, our status. We should look good, we should appear financially strong. We keep on running after those things until we land in our graves. A human being constantly keeps on running after those things until one day suddenly the grave traps their foot, and then there is no time. So for such a person whose time of death comes and the throes of death start, and they start to see the other world, which is going to happen to each and every single one of us, and there is no guarantee that we'll live that certain many years. People die in their childhood, people die in their youth. We see this constantly around us, everywhere, in our families, in our friends, all sorts of circles that we have. We see this every day. And that time definitely is going to come for us. And then a person is going to know and realize how I wasted the great bounty, the great favor that Allah did to me by allowing me breaths and by allowing me moments on this world, in this world. So my dear respected brothers, this life itself is a great mercy and bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we need to be mindful of this. It is not that we have time and it belongs to us. We can do whatever we like, or we can not do if we don't want to do something. Rather, every single moment has the potential to land us into Jannah or land us in the hereafter. Therefore, we should be very mindful, very particular about saving and making our time valuable for the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us an understanding. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us action upon what was said and heard. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Brothers who haven't prayed the sunnah, please do so now. Jazakallahu khairah.